Hello Taurus, Elsie here to do a reading for you. It is a weekly reading, Taurus, and this week we're reading about, well, what you might be reconsidering during retrograde. Let's find out what is going on, because look, retrograde isn't always about reconsidering love. I mean, as much as most readers on the platform want you to believe that it's about love and who's coming back in love, it's not always that. It just is a time of reconsideration, and because now Mercury is retrograding in Cancer, you're reconsidering things that are deeply emotional. So let's find out what is going on, Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter signs, Taurus, my bull gang. How you doing? I hope you are well. Thank you so much for all the ways you love on this channel. Let's find out what is going on for Taurus. All right, there it is. First one. We've got the Four of Wands. We've got the Eight of Cups. And we've got the Tower. Taurus, I feel like there is something here that you probably thought that you may never reconsider. It feels as though something is probably going to surprise you, I would say. You're not expecting that something here is no longer serving you. It feels as though you are no longer attached to the situation, and possibly you've been thinking about leaving the situation. Look, I could be talking about selling a home, could be talking about leaving a relationship, maybe something that used to make you happy and celebratory, or something that felt stable. Now it just feels like obligation. It feels like with the Eight of Cups that you're wondering, am I just here settling for this? Or is it time for me to disconnect or detach and go look for what is really meaningful? The Eight of Cups is here, and I feel like this person, we see their back because it feels like someone here deep down, they realize that they're really not fulfilled by whatever they're doing or whatever you're doing. It feels like it is deeply emotional, the situation itself. But I'm going to say that maybe you're not expecting to change your mind, or maybe you're a person who's so loyal that even though this is maybe not everything you ever wanted, that you just decided you're going to be loyal and stay. Anyway, tell me more about Taurus, please. We've got the Three of Wands, the Five of Swords, and the Magician. You know, the Tower is more and more feeling like the straw that broke the camel's back. And for those of you who are not familiar with that saying, because you may be from another country, it feels like the thing that finally tipped everything over. It's like the water is boiling over out of the pot. You've had enough, is what it feels like. It feels as though there is a point at which you realize that you have the tools to create your own reality, and you're just tired of the arguing. You're tired of people telling you your thoughts aren't what they like you to think about. Like, the Five of Swords to me is some sort of a fundamental difference, and it feels as though you are sort of looking into the future for more excitement, celebration, or happiness. It feels like it's not where you are right now. So it almost feels like what you're reconsidering is that maybe you're in the wrong place. And we could be, like I said, talking about maybe you are a person who travels and you've decided it's time to go on to the next place. Could be a relationship, it could be your job. I'm going to say that the Five of Swords also can tell me that you've been fighting an ending of something because you are loyal. I really do feel as though you've been looking into the future, manifesting, but it also seems like someone's had a realization. Look, when I see the Magician, it's because you now realize the power is yours. There's people who can go through their lives, their entire lives, and not have a realization or an awakening. The realization is, I can do what I want. Why? Because I've noticed that I've got all the tools. And to me, in the Magician energy, you realize that the ball's in your court because you have the say. So it almost feels as though someone has been possibly reconsidering, if this is really what I want, is this really my place? Is this the place I want to be forever? what does the future hold? It almost feels like you have some sort of reconsidering of what means, really deeply means something to you. And does this thing deserve another chance? It almost feels like, because the Five of Swords is with the Tower, it feels like there's one last argument or one last fundamental difference. It feels like somebody's trying to tell you who to be or how to be it. Or if you don't agree with me, then, well, we're just not going to be able to make this work. Tell me about the Eight of Cups. We've got the Ace of Wands. We've got the Empress. Somebody's growing out of a vibration. That's what it looks like here. Look, Taurus, I did the same thing. Sometimes we are in it because we're loyal, even though we are outgrowing the vibration, because society puts a lot of expectations on what it should look like when you make a commitment to a situation, to a job, to a relationship, to a marriage. Society has their own view of what you should do with it. Meanwhile, you're the one that's living it. It almost feels like the Empress here is caught in a loop. So if you are the Empress, which means you have a lot of wisdom and you've lived long enough to have the wisdom of all of the queens. The Empress here is looking at excitement. I think that's what you're missing from your life. It almost feels like everything has become very defensive. We got 4 and 3, which is 7 wands. It feels like eighth wand tells me you just want to go. You're tired of feeling defensive, and it's time for you to stand up for yourself and say, you know what? I just don't fit here anymore. It feels like you're Alice in Wonderland. You've outgrown the space. And with the Eight of Swords, it feels like you're stuck in a loop. In a mental loop, it's like, because of, you're stuck between this place of, I don't belong here anymore. I'm kind of detached from the situation, and now I'm here out of obligation. And it feels also like that's the loop. I'm here because I said so, because I'm loyal, because I said so, because I'm loyal. Also, it feels like pressure that society puts on you or other people around you might put on you. But I feel like this feels like it's one last argument or one more fight away from just, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. Tell me what this Tower is all about here. We've got the Ten of Swords. Somebody is very, very close to just releasing the whole damn thing. It's too painful to stay. And, you know, that's really what the universe does. It makes it so uncomfortable for you to stay what you are that the only other option is to detach and go. So it feels like you're reconsidering whether you're in the right place, whether that's a relationship for you or a job. Feels like you don't belong there anymore. We have the Moon in the reverse, so something is being revealed to you, and I think it's revealed through the Tower. I was counting up the wands here, 7 wands. It shows up here. It feels as though you're trying to protect something. It's like you're protecting your loyalty, the contract, the thing that you promised. It feels like you're trying not to stand up and just say, look, I can't do this anymore. But something is revealed to you because the Moon is in the reverse. And I think what is revealed to you is that this is so painful to be here. Maybe you have a toxic employer. This is so painful to be here that I don't want to be here anymore. And I'm talking about a place. It feels like a physical place, or maybe a place in your mind. Tell me about the 4 of Wands. We've got the King of Cups. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Devil. It really does feel like you might be feeling stuck in a situation, possibly a relationship, where somebody here is withholding their emotions, because we do have the King of Cups here. Somebody here might be staying because of the finances. It feels like they're either entangled or you really depend on them, codependent on the money. And sometimes people do choose to stay in relationships because of the collection of material wealth. So it feels like the Devil here is attached to the Ace of Pentacles. So it might be that then we're going to have to sell the house. Then we're going to fight over the cars. Then we're going to have to fight over the pensions. But it really does feel like you are struggling with your worth because somebody here might not be showing their emotions, love, or appreciation. And you're wondering, well, then what's left here? What's left here then? It does feel like this Five of Swords is something that you're never going to agree to. And it's at this point that the Tower shows up that I think you're not expecting something to surprise you that comes out during some sort of a mental shift you're having or an argument with another person. Tell me about the Five of Swords. We've got the Page of Swords. We've got the Eight of Coins. I always want to call this the 5 because look, we can see 5 coins, but then we look closer and we see that there's plans for 3 more. So are you building a house? Or are you in the midst of building something? You also might be staying because you don't want to break the family apart because of the children. But it also feels like you're building something either for the kids, or it feels as though it's something here that you're not expecting, because the Tower is here and so is the Page of Cups. But the Page of Swords is here. It's almost like it was moving in slow motion and you couldn't stop it from arriving. So I'm going to say that with the Page of Swords, it almost feels like you were observing it from a distance as though this was happening to someone else. It feels like you feel on the outside looking in, but it also feels like you're like, if I just work harder, if I just make more money, if I just become smarter, if I become the subject matter expert, then something magically might turn right. But it does feel like somebody here is reconsidering what I'm going to do in the future. There's the Three of Pentacles. So you can see here that there's 5 pentacles, but the plans for 3 pentacles to be built. Now we've got the 3 pentacles over here with the Two of Wands. I feel like you're being starved, slowly starved. It feels like either someone no longer looks at you or gives you attention. It might be in the workplace, or maybe they are falling short on the promises that they've made about giving you a raise, giving you a promotion. It feels like you're stuck. I'm going to say that it feels like you're stuck at the same wage, or it feels like if this is like a relationship, it feels as though that you have a plan to build something new in the future. But the plans just don't seem very clear right now. And you're wondering if you're creating this plan to build something new because you feel that somebody is withholding their love or their emotions. It almost feels like somebody is not giving you anything because the King of Cups is here. It feels like somebody here is not giving you anything. They're very stoic on the surface. They don't hug you. They don't touch you. Or if this is the workplace, it feels like they don't pay attention to you. You might be the person whose first name is on the project, but they don't even acknowledge you when you're in the room. It feels like that. I feel like somebody here is about to have an awakening. Or this reconsidering process through Mercury retrograde for you, it's bringing up old pain. 10 of Swords. It's bringing up old pain. It's bringing up old things. It feels like you're at the edge of standing up for yourself and saying, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I feel like this Magician energy is part of the awakening where you realize that you had the tools all along, but I think you're just waking up to them. That you have all the resources and the tools. You have everything that you need to rebuild something in the future if that's what you want to do. But I feel like you've been noticing this coming. It might be you that's had enough of it, but it also could be the person that you're living with or the person you're working for. This could be a coworker. It feels like the plans for building something have been put on hold because I don't know that you're willing to put any more work into it, because when we look at this from a distance, we see 5 pentacles. It almost feels like I feel on the outside looking in, and I don't necessarily know that I'm willing to put any more work into this. You're looking at the plans. Got the Two of Wands here. This person's looking at the plans. And is it worth putting all my time, effort, and energy to, or should I turn that toward myself? So, does this deserve another chance? Does it deserve for you to turn back Put some more effort, time, and energy into it. Do you think it will matter? Got the 10 of Wands. We've got the 9 of Cups. And we've got the Hierophant. It's the Faith card in this particular deck. You know what, Taurus? I feel as though you feel a pressure to do something that appeases the masses. It's like you're supposed to put yourself on the back burner, or you're supposed to forget what you want. It feels as though the person you're with, the place that you work, it feels like you're supposed to continue on, but it feels like you have pressure to do so. It feels like you're carrying a heavy weight of, where's my happiness? So the 9 of Cups is here. Taurus, I feel like the 9 of Cups and the Faith card, or the Hierophant here, tells me that there's something here that I don't think you care if it works out. If I'm being honest, I don't think you care, because I think the 9 of Cups is yours. And I think that with the Magician here, that the 9 of Cups is here saying, you know what, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to be making sure I'm happy anyway. So whether you don't want to be married anymore, or you don't want me working on the project, or I quit the job or change the career, or change something completely in my life, I've realized that I'm the one in charge. The Hierophant is here. This is a very serious situation for you. It feels like you're standing on stable ground. I feel like whatever it is that you're doing right now, you're reconsidering, because you're realizing with this awakening energy, it feels like you're realizing that all along you've been doing it for the masses. You've been doing it for everyone else and what their opinions may be of you. But when the 5 of Swords shows up and the 7 of Wands is here, now you're having some sort of a realization, because the Moon is in the reverse and ready to reveal something you didn't see before. And that is that maybe you feel trapped. Maybe you feel like you've been trapped in this pain. It feels like you're having a major shift. This Mercury retrograde, I believe, is going to bring a major reconsideration in your life with this energy of, but does it deserve another chance? The thing is that you are very committed to, you're very committed to staying loyal to the commitment. But I think that's it feels like obligation, because under here is the 8 of Cups, and you're ready just to turn away and disconnect from how you feel about the situation. I'm going to put down 3 more cards here, and we're going to talk more about this in the extended. We're going to talk more about the Magician, what this awakening means. We're also going to look at the Moon and see what's being revealed to you, because I think that what's being revealed to you is that you always have to be the one who is protecting. Feels like you always have to be the one with the boundaries, that you're supposed to allow people to breach your boundaries. You're living in this place of pain. It's not happy anymore. And it feels like they're out of obligation, because the Devil here is attached to the Ace of Pentacles. Let's see what the 3 cards are that we'll take into the extended. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Wands. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. So I feel like you're really, it's like you're trying to quench a thirst that you can't quench. The Queen of Pentacles is here, and look, her forehead is lit up here. The third eye is open, and I think you're starting to begin to see things that possibly you didn't quite see before because of your loyalty. Look, Taurus, you can be blinded by loyalty, but I think your third eye is opening, and you're realizing, I need passion. I need fun. I need to take some risks. And I feel like you're reconsidering of what you're going to do with the rest of your time here, or into the long-term future. Do I feel like what I'm doing is creating value for my life? And if it doesn't, I think that you are about to make some sort of different decision here. Yeah, you are making a decision for sure in the 3D as to whether you feel like you're living in too much chaos. Yeah, there's no way you're going to heal in the place where you were hurt. The Judgment card is here, and I think that's why you feel a bit of an urgency to make some sort of decision to go the other way. It feels like this is something that's come up before. This isn't something that just comes out of nowhere. This is something that's been repetitive. But I think it's Mercury retrograde that is bringing it up to the surface and making you look at it again. with your third eye. We're going to go into the extended. If you want to be there, then please look into the pinned comment that is under this video. Look, there is a private read sale on right now. You will get 10% off of the pre-recorded readings, anything that is in the link where Hypsee is. If you want to go take a look at my pricing and my packages, you will receive 10% off when you use the code that is in the pinned comment. It is Celebration 2026. It's for Canada Day and 4th of July. Happy 4th of July for those of you who are celebrating. And if you're interested in coming into the membership, there is a link to the membership there. This is where all the extendeds go. There's also a little extra something for you as a member if you want to come over to the membership area and take a look on the community board if you're interested to know what that is. I'm going to go for now. I'm going to be back because I'm always back. But I will go there and I'll see you in the extended if that's where you're going to be. Thanks, Taurus. Bye-bye.